What's up guys, it's Philly215 here, and today I'm going to show you a couple tips and tricks on how to speed up Photoshop on your computer. Okay guys, so I recently just updated my Photoshop, and for whatever reason, once I opened up the new updated Photoshop and I clicked on any type of a tool, whether it be the paint bucket, whether it be the type tool, anything, every time I clicked on any type of tool and I tried to use it, I got a really long loading / rendering screen that I never got before, and this was happening for everything. I literally couldn't use Photoshop at all. Now, of course, you know, when you get these long loading screens and such, you wonder this has to be some type of a performance issue. Well, how I went about fixing this issue and speeding up my Photoshop was, what I did was I went to the Edit tab, and once I clicked on the Edit tab, you want to come down to Preferences, and you want to click on Performance. Now, once you're in here, Photoshop should default to about 70% RAM usage. Now, depending on how much RAM your computer actually has, you can lessen this or increase it as well. I would recommend to try and increase it a little more than 70%, but I'm also running a laptop that only has 8 megabytes of RAM, so you know that it might vary from person to person, but that's my personal preference. Is I'm at like 72% right now, so that will help. Now, the next thing I would recommend is your history states. Now, I'll leave a link below if you want to read up on what all this has to do and why this improves your computer. But when I actually updated my my history states, they were up towards like 50, and my cache levels were raised. So you want to make sure you keep those low. I keep my history states down towards like 8 or 9, and my cache levels at 4. Now, the big thing that actually ended up fixing my Photoshop and getting it back to the way it was before was deselecting and unchecking Use the Graphics Processor. Now, for whatever reason, I'm assuming that when Photoshop was trying to use my Intel graphics, it was just totally sending my computer into overdrive and freezing everything. So if you're having the same issue that I was, I would suggest unchecking this. Now, I'm sure that there's plenty of cases where checking it would help the situation, but in my personal case, it didn't help at all. It actually made it worse. Now, the final tip and trick I guess I could give you to try and improve your Photoshop performance would be selecting scratch disks, and make sure you have, if you have multiple drives, that you have them selected. Now, once again, if you want to know more about what scratch disks are and kind of how they play a role in your Photoshop performance, I'll leave a link down below that you can click on. But make sure you have both of these clicked if you have multiple drives, and you want to click OK when everything is said and done. Now, the reason why this took me so long to figure out why my Photoshop wasn't getting better after clicking these things was because after you click OK, you actually have to close Photoshop. Once you close Photoshop, you're going to have to reopen it, and then all the changes will take effect. Now, I hope this video helped out some of you guys, because I know for me, I spent like 4 hours trying to figure out why my Photoshop it went from totally normal, I could do anything, to pretty much just coming to a screeching halt and rendering out every little thing I did. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like. And as always, guys, it's Philly215. Peace!